stream? We are. We stream. Are we on Twitch? I hope everything is good. The light just hurts my a little bit. Maybe it's tough to feel. Okay. All right. We're streaming on all 3 platforms. Welcome to Code Hangout number 214. We are working on a Debugproxy successor. So last episode, we looked at using Nginx for splitting out some of my server infrastructure, namely the plain sites like SvenCodes and ctcbook.com. And the way it works internally is, for example, for SvenCodes.com, we would have the Node.js service at localhost 9005, and then we'll have Nginx serving, and I think we have the config open here somewhere, and we'll call it SvenCodes.localhost, for example. So it'll be SvenCodes localhost pointing, so that'll be HTTP, and this would be HTTPS, and that's pointing to this. And that's basically how that works. So what we're gonna do for this episode, we're gonna look at setting up the framework of getting the debug proxy to work that way. And the debug proxy is called debug proxy because that's what it was supposed to be initially. I just want to have a quick script that I could run on a particular port and then have multiple microservices running on different other ports, and then have the debug proxy basically handle vhosts, right? Like receiving things on different domain names and routing them to the right internal service, and do a few things such as auto redirects from HTTP to HTTPS and a couple of aliasing and things like that. Basically the sort of thing that exactly Nginx and Apache are designed for. So in this episode, we're gonna do debug proxy switch to Nginx. And the way it currently works is that, for example, I think this is the debug proxy, right? So debug proxy basically reads in the SSL certificates, handles the domain name, then internally, basically, these are my vhosts. Basically, it says, oh, okay, if it's this domain name, this is where the SSL certificate is. And then it says, okay, so alpha goes to localhost 913, beta goes to blah, blah, blah. And then this is basically the domain routing, the vhost, right? And then there's a couple of things like redirects and a couple of minor things. And that's basically all it does. So it's basically what we just did. But now we want to be able to set this up in a whole bunch of things, right? So last time we looked into having like includes and stuff. And I think I was talking to JetGPT, was helping me with these configs. Let me make this a bit bigger. We'll probably want to be able to edit these from Windows. Edit WSL files from Windows. I think I can directly access them. Why is Google suddenly giving me a capture? I think they are, somewhere. So if I go here, users, Roy, SRC. I want it from the other direction. Ah, okay, so we actually have some sort of network mapped path here. like that. Okay. So then we can just go to Nginx and go into sites available and just open that file here. Okay, sweet. And I think we looked into using includes, but I guess I didn't use them yet. Okay. Nginx conf include. I thought we did that already last time. So include. Okay, so we can just do an include here. So if we look at something like, and I think I'm gonna pull these out into a separate editor for now. Right, and we want to have a second thing here. So we want to separate out everything that's unique per site, and then only have it include for everything that's the same, right? So we'll have the certificates here. So we need to, okay, so we kind of want to align this with how it is currently in here, right? So here we have a line for each certificate for domain name. I guess we'll need 2. Can we use, maybe we can use variables? Conf variables. So maybe we can turn that into a single line. I'm also gonna open a GPT session. What did I just specify? I don't know. In an Nginx conf file, and I create a variable. Basically, I want to do something like take 2 lines and turn them into 1. For example, go from this. So I'll say SSL certificate slash path slash 2 slash file name dot crt and SSL certificate e slash path 2 slash file name slash key. Oops, that's key, and that's also key. To something like this. Set our path equals, or something like set SSL path equals, and then do something like this. Dollar blah dot crt underscore key dot key, where the bottom 2 lines could go into a shared include file. All right, let's see. Does not support defined customers in the config file. Something like that. For use does not support. Okay. What works? Variables work in some directives, like proxy pass, add, rewrite, etc., but not in directives that require static configuration startup, like as well as root include. Okay, here they won't work. We have multiple certs. You would need to programmatically or via templating. If you okay, so it wants us to include the certificates separately. If I have many server blocks for many different domains, vhosts, and a set and several SSL cert files, comma sum for singular domains, comma sum for a group of domains. And I include all the SSL certs in one global include file. There's one global include file, but only if each server block still explicitly references the directory for its domain. Here's what that means. But search from my side. Okay, but just including this file global will not make any difference to the rights of each domain. Each server block must still use the correct cert directive. And what does the cert directive look like? What are the cert directives? So they would just be duplicated. Then what's the point of this? Okay, so these don't actually do anything. Instead of using global include, prepare per domain group block. Yeah, no, that doesn't help at all. Okay, well, it doesn't look like we can avoid having 2 lines for the certs. I suppose that's okay. All right, so I guess. All right, I've looked into doing an include for this, so I guess we can test it with this as well. So the includes are something like this. Okay, so here we don't need that. We don't need that. We need this. Proxy comment. Okay, no, wait. We've already done the include here. We have this. Does the proxy common need to be here under location? Do proxy underscore directives need to be under location, or can they be under server? And if they are in an include, can I include it inside server and then have a separate location directive in the include? I don't think it'll work because we won't have that. Invalid server. Invalid will cause a config error. Location. Server proxy path, including with location inside the include. Yeah, okay, no, so I think we need this then. We don't need that. We need this. And then if I do another here and save this as what do we call this? Server -ssl -common.conf. Okay, let's do it with touch. So we'll go to snippets, touch, boom, boom, sudo touch. Okay, I think they have the same things here. And if I go here and go here, I can say do this, put that in here. Access denied. Oh, access denied. Oh, that sucks. I can look at them, but I can't edit them. To edit files inside WSL path from Windows. Both Heartbound OSL, which is great, but files are basically read-only when trying to edit them with things that appear to be Here's all remote. Works wonders and edit any file. Okay. So that's all right. Being able to look at them already helps. If I do this. Yes. Boom. Okay. No. Sudo. Alright. Reload. There we go. So now we can include this there and maybe there. I don't know if the list needs to be at the top. But this is now server SSL common. Right. I guess we can get rid of this now. Post this their name. Yeah, I don't like that I have to have two separate ones because there's a bit of duplication here. Right, so let's throw this in here. I mean, it might be best to have this in the include, but then I need two includes, right? I'm thinking like if I, instead of putting these in an include, I put the custom things in an include. And then have this structure shared, but we still need a set of these structures for each include file, so it doesn't really work. So file, server name, Sven code, snippets. Snippets are self-signed. Yeah, but now I need so many files. The idea is I have many setups like this one, and I want one file per setup with the least of lines possible. Yeah. Got it. Your goal is to minimal lines per view host by keeping everything readable without exporting too many files, so the best compact structure. Snippets redirect to HTTPS, which is just that. So if I do a HTTP common, right, and then we'll put, I think server name can then go here. I put these two in here. Right. And then we'll do an include for that here. Like that. And I can... I need the server name at the top, I think. I don't know if I can do the return 301, though. Yeah, I probably want that there. Oh. Ow. Alright. Sudo nanos and codes. Did I do this? And then I think Control K. And then paste. And then Control S. Right. And now, what's the command to check engine xconf? I think I have that in this file here somewhere. No, don't close that. In this one probably. So let's see. Make I think it was these. go over here. I do this. This okay. Test is successful. Okay. And if I do this, it should look like this. And if I go here, it should work. And if I go to non-HTTPS, it should redirect. Okay. So that looks like that would work for this here. So, let's see what it said about this stuff. SSL protocols, that's basically what's going to be in here. Okay. That won't be common. Proxy app 905. I guess that could be separate. So I could have the apps separate from... So I could say, okay, here are all my apps. Here are all my... reusable includes. So we would have an include for this. And for the HTTP common. Right. The listen 80 we don't really need. And then this could be an per app include. So instead of snippets, we could have apps. What does it call it here? Proxy app. So if I do something like, right, so if I do node touch app 9005.conf, not node, sudo, and then sudo nano app 905, and then we basically put this in here, right? And then here we'll now include app, let's rename it 9005. Yeah. Rename. So mv app boom to app dash 9005 conf. Sudo it. All right. And I'm just going to do this /etc /engine. Let's see these sites available. Sudo nano and goats. Right, and now we should be able to just put that in there. And then get rid of that, and that. And save that. Right. Reload. And then we basically just rerun these three over here. Okay, and now this should just still work. Okay, so we'll need the certificates, the domain names ×2, and then the HTTP comment for the redirect. That would just be the redirect, right? And then the app there. Okay. So now we basically can do the same thing for any of the other ones. So let's take, for example, let's take port whatever, 912, which is our beta, right? We can go in here. All right, so we'll say cp app boom to app-9012.conf. Right, sudo nano app-9012 9012. Boom, right? And then under site sub Oh, come on. Can I have it here? Why does it move it to the right? So dumb. All right. Student understand codes. So now we obviously want to create a new one. So that would be sudokupad.app, for example, right? Or just call it sudokupad and then a bunch of stuff goes in there. So we'll do something like sudo cp sven codes, do sudokupad app, or just sudokupad for now, right? And then sudo nano sudokupad, right? And now this would be the sudokupad app.localhost, right? Sudokupad app, and that'll be 912. Okay. Now, how do I create the symlink in sites enabled? Okay, so that's our little helper command here. So this would be sites available, sudokupad, and it won't be .conf, like that. Does it need okay, sudo enabled. Okay, now if I rerun these commands once more, okay, and I need to update a host. Do I have that still open over here? Not exactly. Windows system. Nope. Drivers. GC hosts. So we'll just add sudokupad or sudokupad app. Why is there snakeoil.conf? Okay. Probably something I created during testing. So we'll have this. Get underscore localhost. Okay. Underscore localhost. Let's bring that over to here. All right. So now, if I go to this .localhost, it might not work because I don't have the SSL certificate yet. Okay, there it goes. And that will just be beta running there. Which probably is rebuilding something right now. Okay. Let's take so long. Did it restart? What's going on here? What's taking so long? Why is it taking so long? Why is this pending? What the hell? It's not loading the whole file? What's up with that? Okay. That was weird. What is that file now? 125K. It's not that bad. I mean, I need to optimize that, but, you know, it's doable. All right. Okay, so that's that, really. I mean, how do we set up some of the convenience stuff then? So, for example, we could do something like redirects, right? That would be under Sven codes, really. So we could just do that inside Sven codes. If I do sudo nano slash dot slash. Oh, what am I doing? Dot slash sites available. So let's go. Let's say we go back in here, right? And then here we can do something like server. You know what? I have VS Code, right? It's supposed to be quite lightweight. I was reading commerce support for this. Blah 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 blah. So edit refer. But there must be something easier, right? So in VS Code, can I do it in VS Code? Because I could symlink the file. It's just annoying to have to go into Nano to do this editing. All right, let's do it here for now. So we basically do the same thing as up here. So we basically take this, right? And then we'll include something like this. And we'll just add localhost, for example. It'll be server name. And I think we're gonna move. Actually, it's here. Server name. Right, and then it'll be youtube.svencodes.com.local, right? Semicolon. And that's really all we need. Ah, no, wait. The HTTP common is a generic redirect to something we don't actually want to redirect to, right? So this would be this, and it'll be that. So instead of that, we actually want to do, wait, we want to do listen 80 and redirect to whatever this one is showing, right? So this, for example, and it'll look like return 301, that. Like that. Right? So just to double check this, if I do curl https youtube.svencodes.com curl output headers do not follow redirects. Follow redirects, okay. Only display the headers and body, but curl shows no output. Here we go. So, 443 was resolved. Girl offers HTTP 111. Handshake, yada, yada, yada. Does that really expose? This is weird. Why would, first of all, what the hell is Anaconda 3 doing here? Like, that's definitely not in here. That's weird. Okay. 301 moved permanently. Okay. So, let's see if we set up the host file accordingly. If we go in here and create this on localhost. Sorry, that's super tiny down here. So if I do 127.0.0.1, that, right? And I'm guessing I need to restart this. These 3 lines, I imagine. Okay. And now, if I go to this URL, and I'm going to go to it straight first, and it redirects. And if I run the curl command for this, curl -v https, if I do this, cannot resolve host. Cannot resolve host. Curl cannot resolve host in hosts file. If I open a new one, cannot resolve. If I do it in Windows, $200 okay, that's what I'm expecting. If I do curl -v, prevent follow. I mean, this could be whatever YouTube returns, right? It looks, yeah. That's weird. Curl would not resolve host. Curl WSL curl could not resolve host. Is there something I need to do to refresh that? WSL refresh hosts file. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm guessing... Thing is, the other one I added worked fine. But it probably won't work for curl. Okay, so that's interesting. So it'll work for Nginx, but it won't work for curl. So I'm guessing if I do curl -v sudoku pad _app.localhost, that doesn't work either. Port 5871 connection refused. No, yeah, okay. So that does work. youtube.svencodes.com.local. Is it some sort of weird caching thing? That's so weird. I'm guessing svencodes.local will also work. Or to localhost. If I go straight to HTTPS, then it doesn't give me the redirect, right? Curl ignore self signed assert. So, okay. Connection to host, left attack center. Wait, bad gateway? What are you talking about? Svencodes.localhost. Svencodes. HTTPS svencodes.localhost. Why does that give me a 501? Oh god. It popped over. Open. Get 502. So if that... So that gets a 502. And then this one works. Why does this one work and that one doesn't work? Oh, wait, now it's a bad gateway. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Did I close where that was running? It looks like it, doesn't it? It does look like that. I must have accidentally closed that. Alright, let's rerun that. I think that's this one. Tests, Sven codes. If I do this, and now I'll rerun the curl. Okay, and if I now rerun that curl, it still doesn't work. There's something about this not getting updated. But if I try to open it here, it does redirect. Okay, so at least it tells me it probably works. So it's gonna be a bit of a pain in the butt to set this up and test it thoroughly without messing with the domain names. So I might have to do like probably a whole bunch of subdomains, one for each of these, just to kind of have it all working in parallel so I can verify it. Or at least, look, maybe not all of them, but like a bunch of them, right? So that means each of those would be at least 3 lines, unless I can avoid... if I want to do it with HTTPS as well, it's going to be a lot more annoying. Because I'm pretty sure I want those redirects to be working with HTTPS, right? And in fact, we want the... You see, here it's 1 line, and it includes the HTTP to HTTPS redirect. It includes the certificate somehow. How does it include the certificate? So that's domain name needs to appear somewhere else. Yeah, so 1 time for the certificate and 1 time for that. Gosh, why are our Nginx configs so annoying? So I always need at least 1 more just for the include. Now I could generate these, but like creating them isn't really the problem. It's more like maintaining them over time, right? Maintaining Nginx configs from list of redirects. Like including marketing. Oh, separate file still has to be reloaded after the file is changed. The mapping file must be syntactically correct, but it does limit what can. But it does limit what can be done. To properly isolate the rewrite configuration like that, there are 3 approaches you could take. If new, rewrite new, redirect, marketing map, rewrite bar. I think it's probably prudent to keep it somewhat along these lines. Will I still need 2 for every one? I think so. I don't think I can avoid that. So we'll need 1 Actually, probably need one like this with a redirect. So we actually want 2 of these. So we want the common here. And then instead of the app, so the app one, 1 second, let's see what the app one looks like. Also, let's close that one, close that one, close that one. Snippets, app, right, proxy path, pass, proxy, common. Because I'm thinking we want to do this for the redirect, right? And then, so let's put out our site, svencodes.com. And then here we'll do a redirect, youtube.svencodes.com, for example, right? And we'll have these sections. And we'll basically need 2 of these, just like that. The first one will be this. That's just the HTTP to HTTPS redirect. Like that. And then the second one will have the same domain name. We'll figure out how to get it in the certs. But then instead of the app snippet, which basically looks like this, we'll actually just have the return here. I don't... Do I even need a certificate for that? Do I need how do I configure an Nginx config that simply returns a 301 redirect for a domain name URL, but with SSL? Let's see if I am understanding this correctly. So we do want the SSL common, which is the listen. Right. So we'll have this. We'll have. Can I get some conf formatting new? No conf formatting. YAML, isn't that YAML? No YAML? OCaml? Toml? No. There's no YAML? Are you kidding me? 1 sec. Sublime YAML. Oh. Engine or conf formatting. As if they were bash scripts. Nginx. What is the Nginx conf format? Anyways, format. It's not going to tell me, is it? What kind of file format is an Nginx? Plain text, where there's no special format or extension required, and the system file structures using command SDSL to find Nginx. Conf extension. Is it similar to anything else, such as Apache confs or YAML? Oh my god, my typos. They're not related to forms of gamma trace or anything. Here's a quick comparison. So Sublime improves this for Nginx configuration files. So that's like a custom thing. Okay, so preferences, browse packages, okay, download. Okay. And then I can just open that into here. Right? And now. Nginx. Hey, there we go. All right, much better. Much better. So now we can go back to the redirect, right? So okay, so we have our HTTP to HTTPS redirect. Then here we have the certificates, and then we can just straight up return this. Now, if I look at the proxy common, which is this one, apparently we don't need all of this. Request URI, so we can just do that. We can do that. SSL common. Do we need any of this? Listen 443. Server name alt domain includes SSL common. Return this. Yeah, we don't need whatever the app is containing the proxy comment, right? We're not proxying. And I can't freaking do that from here. It's so painful. Do we want to figure this out again? File. How do I open? We looked at this earlier, right? And somebody said, ask the or copy the files, edit and transfer back to as here. Okay, so we probably want to go here. No, we want to go here. This is our Sven code snippet. And then we basically want to remove all of these. Right? That's our redirect. We'll have some more certs here. It's gonna get unwieldy though. Like, this is already a one redirect instead of one line. I'll have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lines, right? So it feels like, oh my god, this is so painful. Why is this so painful? Especially these two. Do I really need both? And is there no way to express that with a single editable item? Editable. No narrative, correct. It does not support. You can do both. Even the threat requires you to split explicitly. Reprocess a domain with a tool like nsubs Jinja for small shell script. Domain equals domain 1. Domain template yada yada. Site enabled domain.conf. Huh? In substitution or small shell script on files with surplus key lines from a domain list. Oh, that's so painful. I mean, it does make sense to have an include for each certificate, I think. So what we can do is we can put these two lines in one file, right? So we can have something like, if I get out of here, right? I'll do sudo nano, and I'll do self-signed.conf. Let's call it SSL cert self-signed.conf. Oh, it doesn't care. It doesn't matter if it's SSL or not. So we'll do this, right? And then we'll put these two lines in here. Like that. Save that. And then we can do an include for this. Or sort of cert-self-signed. Because, like I said earlier, the certificates aren't going to map directly to domain names, and we need them in multiple places. So it makes sense that each app has a file, each certificate has a file, and then each service with its whatevers has a file. And once again, I can't edit this. When I edit this, right, and we'll basically just take that whole thing, empty this out, paste it, and hope for the best. Okay. And reload, yeah. And if I now restart that, from here, I guess, which I did not ask you to pull out. What's going on? What's going on? So this is Sven codes the service running. What's this? That's the log tail running. So we actually want to run that over here. Okay. So this should still work. This should still work. Okay. And then this should also work. http:// If I do this, the problem is I don't now know if it returns the right headers and stuff. And this is still struggling. Why? Why? Failed to load. What's the problem here? I don't understand. If I ask it to open it in a new browser, why the new tab doesn't get a URL? Doesn't make any sense. Just open this URL. Status 204. What does status 204 mean? No content. Okay. Why is it still spinning on this one? That's also opening, no problemo. Error content length mismatch. Something is not happening properly under Nginx. So that's the sort of thing I'm going to have to test thoroughly, because I'm not familiar with Nginx. If there's some reason why a longer file or a slower server or whatever, it might time out or something like that. These I don't understand, though. No resource with a given identifier found. I mean, that could just be because it's the wrong domain name or something. And that might just work fine once it's on the live site. I don't think this has anything to do with the Nginx redirect. Now I have to be careful because obviously everything gets proxied through Nginx, so I don't know if that's a problem with performance. Like maybe, you know, it wouldn't be the first time that I've underestimated my own stuff. So maybe my code works more efficiently than Nginx. It's very possible. This is not good though. Failed to load response data. Like, it doesn't load the full file. File load through Nginx does not complete. Yeah. So why does it not forward the proxy properly? Like we want to pass all the headers through. Onto them, then get them caught in the location app block and reference. You can then page and source code from the region is happening. End up going with subdomain based proxying. So that's basically what I'm doing. That header connection rate of rating. Maybe some of the stuff isn't right since I don't actually do that like in my own code. So on location proxy pass. Yeah, something isn't right. Are there anything? Yeah, this one is still pending. It's not loading the freaking file. Why? Let's create a test file with that loads only one of these. So let's create a new file, and we'll save it under. Test.html. So if I do this, right? If I say assets/test nginx, okay. I'll do that, right? That loads. And now if we compare this to, I guess this, which loads our script file somewhere down here. And if I put that into the body, just like that, we'll do this. I'll do don't preserve logs, clear it. Empty cache hard reload. Why does that take so long to load? Why? What's happening? What's going on with this thing? So, one sec. I'm gonna make this bigger just so the lines don't wrap. So we get this. And the file. Now it's loading. Now it's not. Nginx file stuck on pending. Wow, why is it so unreliable? My service, As far as I know, it's 100% reliable on this aspect. Why? Tons of info. Blah, blah. Word for me. So after digging, add to the server's response. Add to service response headers connection equals close. Wait, this. Let's read on Chrome. Try to reduce the stuck request. So wait, what? What does it want me to do? Open the network debugger. What is the frick is a network debugger? Are we talking about the network tab in here? It doesn't show me anything. Content download. 60 seconds. That's ridiculous. Can I have an explanation, please? So that's the one URL that we're testing with, right? And then the actual full on URL be this. I mean, it could be the HTTPS. Like here it loads the whole thing. Now it's stuck again. And it's stuck after how much? Why not? Why is it not finishing? This is not good. Again, this is not a problem I have on my regular server. So in fact, let's try it out. If we go directly to localhost 9012 without HTTPS, and we'll go there, it insta loads, right? Let's ask ChatGPT, although my hopes are slim. New chat. I have a simple Nginx proxy setup and a particular file does not complete loading more than half the time. The same, so I am simply proxying a local host alias to the service running on port 12. If I directly fetch the file from the service, it works fine. Why would Nginx cause the file 225 kbjs file to stall being halfway? I'd like to know why, not how to fix it. And hopefully that'll cause it to not just make some stuff up. Stream response to large both small trying keys. Before making changes, how can I verify any of these items? Because it just asks you to try everything, which is basically just standard, like, hey, Google thing, and then try the first 2 pages of results, and then half of them don't work. So, transfer speed sounds retries changing. Well, I know that the logs don't say anything. I see this in the logs. A-20 server slash That's probably not the right URL. Yeah, I need to remember to give ChatGPT like real commands to try and stuff. I'm off screen here. What do we get? Off JavaScript, yada yada yada, content length. Okay. The response seems fast. Okay. Oh, can we? I will not really nearly try changes as you have destroyed all servers like this in the past before admitting you had no idea what we're doing. How can we confirm the issue or try resolving it? Yeah, we want to resolve. We want to figure out what the issue is. All right, so let's see what he wants us to do. Oh, backend JS. Copy full upstream response versus proxied one. What? What? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. All right. Do I have space here? Sure. Here, test. Test. So I do this. And then this is actually that. Okay. Then we'll diff it. mkdir test. rm backend test. Boom. Okay. So can we do some testing now? Do this. Then we'll do this. Actually, let's first do this. How about we'll do -v. vk. All right, so sk. And then we'll do a diff. VK. What does the -s in curl stand for? The silent mode. Okay. So if I do just that, okay. So I'll need to run it a couple of times until it gives me the error. Okay. Okay. Since the error is intermittent, let's to run it a few to get the issue. Oh, the curl call never finishes, so I cannot do the diff. Never finishes, never but a partial incomplete transfer. On the mid response not failing cleanly. Alright. Good and broken responses file for comparison. Okay. So we'll do with a timeout. Like that. Oh my god. It's because it's so easy for me to click and then select one character and that immediately overrides the clipboard. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I should have made a timer at 1 second. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And boom. Okay. So now, well, I mean, I'm not sure. There we go. I'm not sure that diff will be useful. So as I say, SL row stall run. Why it's clearly current created, why it's complete, yep. It's also very close to 64K. Going to around 6 parameters, I'm done a log. Next diagnostic step, confirm headers with curl v. And I'm guessing when it says localhost, it actually means this. PK, max timeout 1. One second. Before we proceed, I need to fix the issue of X stalling without error or proper failure. Why does it hang forever? There not be some kind of timeout? Error. Yeah, I don't understand how a server can just have an infinite non-timed out behavior internally. That doesn't make sense. All right, so proxy read timeout. Too high. Is not triggered. Upstream is still sending slower hang, so the timer isn't reached. Why are these both present? Well, I know that these are there. They're what you told me to put in there earlier. By the way, you've created for me. Can you let me know what else you omitted that's important and considered a misconfiguration. And please, in the future, never give me a misconfiguration. Yeah, don't give me something that you then later on are going to tell me is wrong. So if we add this, and we'll have to add it to here. We'll do Sven codes. No, we'll do sudo nano snippets proxy common. Put that in there. Connection header handling. That your config use connection upgrade proxy set header connection upgrade, which is correct only for web server HTTP upgrade scenarios, not for generic static file proxying. What the heck? May interfere with chunked encoding, persistent connection, or cause premature disconnects when not doing upgrades. What? Tuning. Use default small buffers installed mid transfer and files largeness as you're seeing. Error propagation. If you want user facing errors, to be clear, okay, we'll put this in, but that sounds like I have to actually create error pages here. Host origin headers. Sometimes important backend behavior. Set header host. Already there. Set header origin. That isn't there. Proxy buffering off. Or if you're buffering, throttling memory control. And no. Okay, so if I do this off, and then I comment this out, which prevents chunk transfer issues, avoids hanging connection, ensures stream stability. Connection prevents chunked transfer issues, avoids hanging connection, ensures stream stability, conservative realistic timeouts. Instead of localhost. Localhost. Slow down for a second. I'm working on a shared include you've started with me previously. This is where it is now. There's two conflicting sets of assumptions in it right now. You're blending for large static file proxying not needed can issue both. Okay, so just fix split use case and explicit. Okay. So I just want to replace the proxy I wrote myself. Like, I'm questioning my choice now of trying to replace my own JavaScript file. Like, what the hell? Who can argue that breaking is better than working at all? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, thank you. It just needs to work. I mean, huh? So proxy pass doesn't even come in here, right? Yeah, you told me there was no variables in this. So where's this suddenly coming from? Can we... Will not work. Yeah, okay. Then, okay, so... So what else is wrong? Just give it me the correct answer and skip the bad stuff. Oh, your user variable contains the entire URL. So we can use variables after all? Like, which one is it? Does it have variables or does it not have variables? Frick. Jesus Christ. So, in other words, I should be able to do something like, if I go in the app here, okay, so instead of something like this, I could actually just write, so we could just say something like, set proxy app. Is that how I can set a variable? Proxy app to, oops, do this, and then move the whole location block into the include with a line like why did you not tell me this earlier? It just keeps lying. God damn it. All right. So we can do this. So we can do this. Instead of server SSL common, we can do this, set proxy, something like that. And then instead of app, and I can't even do this here, can I? I need to do it here. So if I do proxy app like that, boom, right? And then here we'll do this like that. And then we'll do that, and we put that there. Save, exit, okay. And then here, instead of including this, we go sudo nano sven codes. So that goes here, right? And then instead of including that, what did we just call it? Proxy app. So here we can just say proxy app. Right. And then the certificates. Where is the self-signed certificate file? Where it's self-signed. That's fine. Okay. Now we need to run that. And then here, we now need to reload this. From here. Okay. connection is not private. I don't know if it's loading the SSL certificate correctly yet, but that's something we can figure out later. Okay. All right. I want you to stop giving me wrong information and bad configs. Let me show you what I have now. So wait until I've sent you all the includes. And don't respond until I say that I am ready. Let's see if it can do that. All right, so okay, so we have this, boom. Then we'll have the cert self-signed. So cert dash self find conf. Boom. Then we have server SSL common, which is just the one line. Okay. Then we have proxy app.conf. So that's now like this. And then we'll have proxy common. And that's this. Okay, already. Oh, okay. First part in the restroom and sounds alright, but it's still waiting for the rest. I'm just running. All right, it's trying its best. And I'm out of water. As a vibe coding session, a vibe configuring session. Del redirect proxy logic, proxy pass, proxy app missing semicolon. Okay. Boom, sites available. Boom. Proxy app. All right. Good. Fix. Proxy setup connection upgrade. Incorrect for non-web socket. Incorrect for non-web socket traffic. Forces or connections if their website which is wrong for static file. Additional header used. So this is which file? Proxy set header. Okay, so that's proxy common. Wait, what? Oh, wait. Okay, so what does it want me to change here? So it wants me. You're always setting this versus all connection with the WebSockets. Fix this map at this once globally common or common include. I don't want to do this globally. Proxy header upgrade. So proxy header upgrade. Proxy set header upgrade. HTTP setter connection. Okay, so that's dollar connection upgrade. All right. So we do sudo no data slash nginx conf. Once globally for the common include this. Okay, so where do I add this in the global file? here, unless caching is actually used. Proxy cache bypass issue upgrade. Caching logic later. Where do you want me to edit the global? I would prefer to have my own files, as eventually I'll have to transfer this conf to another system. Yeah, this is stupid. Like, it's talking to me like he's a freaking high school student. Exactly where there's no connection. Okay, so where would that go? Nginx config. Include global devs. Nginx. At the top of the HTTP block. Okay. So if I do sudo nano snippets global dash common the conf, then I paste that in here. That's not tabulated correctly. Okay. And then I'll do this. This should go at the top of here. So that should then be an include, I guess. Include snippets. The global reference. Okay, I don't like it. So, the global file looks like this now. Is there no way to have it included without modi? Yeah, is there no way of loading it directly without having to manually modify this file? Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so if I now reload it here. So it's okay, successful. Okay. It doesn't load anymore. I've made the changes. Okay. Of course, I've made the changes and it broke everything that was working. Of course it broke everything. I mean, you should know if the syntax is correct. You told me the syntax. from now on, I will only do the first thing you suggest. The rest is a waste of time, and I would ask you to not send me crap, but it hasn't worked in the past either. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's not helping anything. Well, I told you it's giving me an error, you dummy. All right. I mean, obviously, it's doing it correctly because it was working before with the same text. But now it's fucking working. So why was it working before and now it's not working? The same thing. Oh my god, this is so dumb. Ugh. No, no. All right. Server SSL common. I think we can move that into the proxy app as well. Whoops, wrong buttons. Proxy-app. So we should be able to move that in here now. Right, and then change spend codes. Remove that. Right. Do we wanna have... Okay, let's see if we can replace this as well. So, can I replace this? Boom, with server name. Boom. With boom. No, you can't use set assign variable to server name. What? Or statically at config that does not accept variable match incoming host headers early as possible. Matching happens before variables are evaluated. Use an include or duplicate. Patient plus many server blocks. The only safe options are use an include. Then in your server block, includes server names and codes. But then the includes very unique. Um, HTTP to HTTPS direct, which seems to mean an extra 4 lines per post unnecessarily. Oh, proxy does this automatically. Is there a way to move this duplication for the 301 HTTP to HTTPS direct? The system file again proxy is kind of dynamic, but while we can't limit the second server block entirely, and collapse the redirect logic into a shared, including the per site footprint to just 2 lines. So, create a file, server HTTP redirect, server HTTP redirect. That's 2 lines per domain, no duplicate logic, no risk, very readable. Finally, that's what I have right now, you dumbass. That's literally identical to what I have, and it's 4 lines, including the server and lines. Dumbass. This is so dumb. Well, server HTTP common. He wants me to change that to read. All right, you know what? Accept that. Wait, what? All right, HTTP. Actually, we want to do mv snap. It's to HTTP dash server dash HTTP dash c to dot slash snippets server dash HTTP dash redirect dot conf. Snippets. All right. So reload. No, that should now be redirect. Redirect. So we'll change that from common to redirect. Boom. And it won't let me. Of course, it won't let me because that would be too easy. All right, and now we need to reload it all. Has failed because of the sudo commit file. All right. Then this one will become this. Oh, wait, we need this. And then 12. Then we'll need this. Like that. And we'll need this. And we can get rid of this, this, and this. Right? Then we'll probably rerun these commands. Test failed. 18 configuration. No such file or directory in 18. 18. Common. Okay, that should be redirect, I guess. All right. Cert self-sign, server SSL common, and then the redirect. So server SSL common is still a thing. Okay, fair enough. All right. Hey, okay. Okay. That should just always load immediately. That one it doesn't. There's 200 for everything. Framework is not defined. Okay. Okay, that file is still not loaded. So this file is still not loading. Okay. All right. So the proxy buffering is off now. Yeah. At least it's figured out that it has to add -k for the curl command. Oh, that's nice. Huh? Yeah, it's not 9.12, it's 9.2. Got the wrong port. All right, well, the tail of the of this one is didn't air out this time. Didn't air out. Now it aired out. I mean, not super helpful. It's like talking to a freaking idiot child. All right, I guess we're changing it back again because like, what the hell? I'm not gonna change it back and forth. Okay, destructive connect badly in Nginx. You're saving files, not live streams. Client is a browser, blah blah blah. Buffering into stream directly from upstream to client and hiccup flows even minor sound because transfer midway. Oh no. Right. Snippets. No. So don't know, snippets slash, and I think it's what, proxy common. So this is now going to be on again, and these are like that, I guess. Right. So now we got to go back to restarting this. Okay. That loaded fully. Loaded fully. Okay. So finish 1.05 seconds. And if I go here, okay. Sound control on 250 milliseconds. And here. Yeah. So yeah, we need to fix that. All right, so why does it need to buffer? Okay, you're making some assumptions about how my proxy works. Let me remind myself how my proxy actually does work. My proxy does what? Yeah, you're making presumptions. You're making presumptions about my proxy. Here is a snippet from my proxy for reference. Yeah, it's just making shit up, imagining. I mean, we know this, but man, we have a listen, handle server request, and we have all of this. So it's not just doing a raw pipe. So it says in handle v host, handle v post. Let's see. Okay. His buffer's option is unless disable, which we now know it breaks for you. Breaks until buffer's thresholds are reaching before flushing. More conservative when it sends output. Proxy handle actual forwarding streaming. Replace high streaming reverse proxy like Caddy. So in other words, Nginx is after all less perform than simple proxy. This is the opposite of said earlier. Honest no comparison injects with no checks. Lowest immediate flush, no buffer delay, high time and concurrent scales. And concurrency scales, simple immediate. Serving can delay flushing to current errors propagate. Consign target behind if misconfigured. Simple logic needs tuning to not break or stall. Scales to 100 plus 1,000 conditions. Needs cluster PM2 for parallelism. For your specific case, streaming moderate sized files from an upstream over HTTPS to a browser, your node proxy is effectively faster and more robust out of the box. Really? Doing general, but it assumes proper config and workload type. Doesn't apply to streaming edge cases on HTTPS, which it. Okay. Okay. So 6 seconds, finish 3.7 seconds. Yeah. So okay, one detail is that looking at Chrome Dev Tools, the DOM content loaded event is faster for my proxy, but overall all files completed time is lower. Does this indicate a lack of parallelism? Perhaps this site loads many 30 plus script files on first load. Like, there's lots of things to fix in the site, but we know that everything else being the same, my code is faster than Nginx right now. All right, so it's critical shares arrive fast. That's what we expect. Your proxy flushes early and often with no buffering. Scripts, fonts, etc. Nginx says high concurrence with your node proxy may require few requests on the load. High event loop saturation be limited with max sockets and connections. Microparallelism. Fire in parallel. If you want your proxy to compete on concurrency, node proxy or cluster. No. But being a dummy. All right, so you want me to reduce the buffers? Okay, that's something we can try. So if we go here, we can move to what do we want to move to? Proxy buffering on. 1 to 8. 4 buffers, I guess. 8. Max buffer size is also new. Oh, we need to copy that. All right. Max temp file size, early flushes every 128K, non-necessary delays, flushing is allowed, in NGX inside HTTP. Okay, so you're, if not right in your SSL config. Forget, no editing of engine X. You know what files we have. Where exactly do you want me to put things? It's just throwing shit at me. It doesn't do any of the work. It's so dumb. Right. Manual. And then this is what? Global common. So in your existing engine, find that and make it sure you add global tuning. No, I want the global tuning inside global common. I'm not gonna add. I'm not gonna make an include file for every 3 lines, you dumbass. So we should be able to put that here. There are no include supports for events. If you have to touch it once, just like above. If you want to touch it, you can skip. Current work connections than 6.8 is enough unless you're under very high concurrency. 1,700 sockets. Structure. My microservices ready handle compression and use broadly or use it where you don't interfere. So we want broadly off here as well, maybe. And then we can do that here. All right. So let's restart this stuff and see where we're at. It's even still a valid config, which is not a given. Test failed. No directive broadly. Well, we better not have to put it in the first place. All right, we want these 3 lines here. Gzip directives duplicate nginx conf. Get. Well, I guess I need to edit this one first. Then just disable that here. And now, once again, we restart that. Okay. So now if I reload that. Okay. And try this again. Nope, not that. Nope, not that. This. Alright, so we have this versus this. Okay. No, wait, that's the wrong. Wow. Ignoring event localhost. What are you talking about? Okay. Let's see. So on the right we have Nginx. On the left we have raw. All right. Okay. These are the new results. I service finish 6.02 seconds. DOM content loaded. Is 268 milliseconds. Nginx. And there we get finish 25.62 s and DOM content. It is 723 ms. This is pretty bad. Yes, this is the microservice directly, not through my node.js proxy. So that's pretty bad. Let me see if we can. Is this the Nginx one? Like, what's going on with these here? I don't know what's doing the 25 seconds here. Yeah. Ignore the 25 seconds. I think that's a weird accounting or some analytics events. The DOM content loaded timing is the relevant one. I hope it's better with numbers than ChatGPT used to be at the beginning. Also note, this is me on my local machine making a single page load with no user concurrency. So we're making even smaller buffers. All right. This would be under under proxy common. All right, so 64K. Most of the script files are quite small. Let's see. 1 to 5 KB in size. All right, so we make it for all files. So for 8K, 8K, 8K. All right. Now, from here, I think we can restart it. All right, and now I reload it here. Where's script.js? What's happening? Yeah. Now the large 225 KB file stalls again and doesn't complete for timeout. If I open this directly, what happens? What do I get? Okay, load it. Load it. And now it didn't finish without errors again. God damn it. Reset, blah, 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 which is on the buffer space. Smaller than your 220 engine can't flush to the client fast enough. Small bucket stall, it fills the buffer and tries to fall back to temp file, but proxy access and blocks it. Feels sound. It's the same issue with buffering off. These measure buffer tune. Small enough buffers for 1 to 2, large enough capacity for in both cases. All right, well. So proxy busy buffers size is 128K. Proxy buffer size is 64K. Proxy buffers 8, 64K. Proxy buffering on. Max temp file size 0. Okay. Well, let's try it again. Start again, Sam. Yeah, when I press Control C there, somehow it flushes my clipboard. I don't know why. Doesn't make sense to me. Like, it also loads sometimes instantly. And then sometimes it completely stalls without error. Okay. So if I just reload it, How can Engine X fail like this without any error? This is entirely unacceptable. It needs to succeed or provide an error. Nothing else is acceptable in stable production environment. Like, how can it get away with not even providing an error? It just silently, it doesn't even fail. It pretends it succeeds without succeeding. Debugproxy that's silently truncated is responsible that error is broken. Be for manager partial file delivered with no errors. Looks up in production, yada yada yada. Okay, so it does not treat partial upstream reads or client side disconnects as fatal unless certain conditions are met. What? That's stupid. Thus, closes early, but not abnormally. Client disconnects before read completes. Buffers are misconfigured. Upstream delivers more than engine can hold, but temp files buffering is disabled. Why is temp file buffering disabled? Or doesn't notice due to the buffering cutoff. Enable logging if trunking into upstream reads. Proxy ignore client abort off. Okay. Proxy ignore client abort off. Under issue global snippet access long. You'll see how many bytes engine extra. Cover if buffer fills. Okay. This is change it to. You said never to do, but this is what you told me to do. Why? Like, what the hell? You told me to do this, and now you're telling me never to do this? That's so dumb. I don't want long timeouts. I know my own services respond in less than 50 milliseconds, and no user will wait 10 plus seconds for a simple file load. Like, that's just ridiculous. It's so stupid. If files still stall, this helps make sure every chunk gets flushed under. Some builds off this on by default, so it can fix erratic flushes. Transfer encoding. Let's do that for a sec here. PD throttle server. Don't send proxy maps files. Summary of exit. Initially, because your goal at the time was avoid any disbuffering for stream behavior like my node proxy. That's I did not say you made that up yourself. You dumbass. Oh my god, it lies to itself. Well, it's not lying. It doesn't, there's no truth in this machine. It's just so bad. Why is Engine X so bloody bad? It's, god damn it. The performance of Engine X is just terrible. Why is it so slow? All right, and if I just open this file, 3.4 kilobytes. Why would it stall? Why? Still doesn't work. File load still fails. About 20 to 30% of the time without any error. Larger than for largest files, proxy max time file size is not 0. Beyond normal JSON config, and likely one of possible root causes at this stage. Come over issues can stall if NGS flush slowly due to buffering logic. The browser opens many parallel connections to 30+ JS files. The big buffer, blah blah blah. Junk transfer encoding on. Okay, well, let's try that then. But I'm getting to a point where I'm feeling we're just guessing. Right. It's now about twice as slow. 0.66 for Tom and loaded. And file still sometimes fails. Why are we guessing? Can we not determine what the issue is first? Guessing wastes time. Oh my god. Like, how is a single file? Like, how is this okay? Like, the single file load is here, is 4 seconds now. Except it doesn't fucking load. Yeah. So, load is around, it succeeds 225 KB and around, what was it? 15 it fails at 0.4 KB. So what did we say here? Engine X worker read upstream servers, right? Seriously? My god. Well, sudo nano. Where should we put this? Error log. Is after these? Okay. And we're already always doing sudo tail blah 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 error. access log, but if we do error log instead, right? Okay. Upstream timed out. Okay, I guess that's process started. All right. I load this now. Boom, boom, boom. We got again error. Timeout. Nope. Nope. Okay. Still no timeout. But I'm guessing these are the... Ah, okay. So we now get the timeouts. This is the timeout error. Force immediate flushing with chunked encoding. Transfer encoding on. Force connection close after each response. Well, proxy set header connection close. Moves keep alive. Reuse TLS section. Multiplex confusion. Faster proxy. Upstream timed out while reading upstream. Connect to your service. Press the file. The backend started responding since you got 0.4, then stalled mid response. After proxy read gave up and logged the error. So your backend is stalling during the response, but only when accessed by engine, not directly. Why does it? Your browser curl connects directly to the backend. There's no second connection, no extra buffering or TLS, no delay from engine to forward data. Likely cause backend server behavior changes under NTX. Some servers, like Node.js, Flask, etc., act differently when they're accessed by a proxy. It just doesn't close the connection immediately. Test this by comparing. Only one works reliable, has chunked or persistent connections. If you say so. Excuse me if I don't take your word for it, because you've rarely been right so far. If I do this, and then I do this. I tried both many times and my service always responded instantly and completely without stalls or delays. Your backend always responds fully when accessed directly with curl with or without special headers. Also when accessed via Nginx. The issue is almost certainly a problem between the backend on load levels, not the backend itself, and not the browser. Okay. Opening TCP connection, but then stalls mid-response, possibly because it's not reading fast enough due to the buffering logic. Or the backend sees TCP window full, blocks for the writes. The Nginx socket enters a weird ePull state, especially if buffering is off. Minimal and save changes. So now we're making bigger buffers again. Alright, so we're back to, what do you want now? 128K. Buffer size, 256. Easy buffer size. The problem is if we fiddle with the buffers like that, that won't it just fail again later as I add different files or a file might grow? This seems silly and unreliable. I cannot imagine Nginx is designed like this. It must be able to reliably serve files of any size, just like any simple web server could. Like, this is stupid. You can't tell me that Nginx cannot reliably serve a file repeatedly without just silently failing. Oh my god. I think you're making this shit up. Seriously, a bug in Nginx? Are you kidding me? Proxy buffering. Pretty sure proxy buffering is already on. So I'm just gonna comment these out. Oh, wait, what? Can I resize? Nice. Or it didn't crash again. Alright, proxy set upgrade, HTTP upgrade, connection upgrade. Delete a comment unless you're using WebSockets. Okay, so proxy cache bypass, special accept encoding, proxy set header. We don't have that. Which it is from 2020. This version has no box for proxy preference. All from next mainline. Well, this is the Nginx. Alright, Nginx-v. How to update Nginx in WSL. I'm here again. Once again. When I try to update, yeah. My god. My own proxy is older than this. I cannot believe Nginx could not proxy until 2 years ago. This seems ridiculous and unlikely. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Why does my clipboard constantly lose stuff? Get the repo up to package. Better not be freaking losing my config. Okay. Oh, so the freaking small print here. I get this error. Right. Okay. Now it's version. Wait, isn't that 0.10 more? So, I actually want to change this. Yep, I crashed the Explorer. Before, when I did the resizing, I think I can no longer. God damn it, Windows. Sorry, that drives me up the frickin' wall. And then, if I restart Explorer now, it'll reattach these buttons to each. In fact, I can't modify the taskbar anymore. This stream has really gone off the deep end, hasn't it? I get weird Windows Explorer crashes quite often, usually when resizing Windows. Afterwards, I can no longer move buttons on the taskbar, nor can I align windows to corners or side, or use hotkeys to move them to reset locations automatically. When I force kill restart Explorer, it messes all my taskbar configuration and makes the app buttons stick together. Even after restarting my what's it called? My tools that unstick the buttons, I now have to restart all apps with multiple buttons, such as Chrome. Oh my god, I don't want to type anymore. Nope, I don't want to delete the whole word. Can I just fix it, please? Oh, holy preset. What's wrong with preset? A huge hassle for my finely tuned set. Any ideas how to fix and avoid this? To disable non-max extensions of the company. Disable test. I don't want to reboot. Oh, Yeah, none of these actually fix anything. Okay, that's not very useful. All right. I want to move those three calls into one line. So if I do this and this, right, I should be able to restart it. I get I'm copying this. I'm going here, right click to paste it. Okay, it works. But the moment anything happens, it just okay. Why it happens? You don't know why it happens. Stop lying. Is it working now? Jesus Christ. Could you pretend you're not a update say has changed? Can now reference all chats, but you can still mention to your safe memory. My god. Engine X proxy upstream time out 110 in out. Seems to be maybe a worked for me, ended up with like this station, yada yada. Proxy read timeout. Right. Proxy read timeout 15 seconds. Sorry. That's plenty. That's ridiculous. Why would it get me an upstream timeout when the upstream is responsive? I think we've gone through the whole playlist. Don't think there's anybody listening to my stream today. Actually, I can check, right? I should have viewer numbers. 2 concurrent viewers. Somebody say hi. Lately, I have had no chats in the streams. Make me feel sad. All right, upstream my app. Warrior Spirit to block. Upstream my app. What does that even mean? Block or upstream block. The upstream for server is fine. All right, sure. I'll run that. Why would it ever stall? There's no, I'm not randomly not doing the thing. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's running 30, 40 megabytes per second. All right. It seems to be pretty reliable. Show the proxy common. Proxy common. You know what? I'm just gonna do that here. I'm just gonna say cat cat proxy dash common. Then it's labeled for you and everything. Sudo nano boom. There's nothing in there. There's nothing in there that you didn't tell me to put in there. So what do you want off? Chunked transfer encoding on. That goes off. Default already off. Proxy ignore client abort off. And remove from the 6-bit no, I can remove. Okay, we want this, for conversion. Proxy buffering on. Boost, origin, 1, okay. All right. So, run this again. Okay. Still fails quite frequently. Copy, paste. First request worked. Second request. Right, let's see if we can get the whole thing. Boom. There we go. Feed the AI. Hey Keith. Just that my program days ended at second year at university in Pascal. Ah, I did a lot of fun things in Pascal. I had so much fun in the 90s with Pascal because it had inline assembly. I did my first graphics programming in basically 90% assembler and the rest in Pascal. And then later on, I built my first commercial projects in Delphi. That was a nice programming environment. I enjoyed that. That was a good times for application programming. All right, 7 replace localhost forces loopback. That's already done. Proxy request buffering off. Add this to proxy. Didn't we do this already? Proxy request buffering off. Pretty sure this has gone up and down a couple of times. All right, proxy request buffering off. Reload, well. And now if I do this. And failed again. Fail. 1/3 try. Have you ever tried vibe coding? What all the kids do nowadays? Because I find it incredibly frustrating. And that's not even coding, it's just configuring an application that's been around for what, 20 years? I don't even remember when Nginx came on the scene. It breaks on the 3rd try, buddy. This doesn't make any sense. It keeps trying to blame my services for being a problem. My services are rock solid. They just work. We gotta edit the... Right, sudo nano. We gotta make the logs even more aggressive. That's fine. That's fine. I can live with that. And it fails instantly. It's just a freaking proxy. I don't need you to do anything. Just take the data from the server and forward it like a good old proxy. First try failed. So, IO setup. Feature enable on a system that doesn't support it, like WSO contains a kernel configs. Okay. Means the libIO, blah blah blah, doesn't support AIO, but still has to use it, which causes Nginx to start and break the read process after connect. Okay. Sure. Snippets. Oh, yeah, I can't, my freaking things don't work anymore. All right. My Explorer crashed. Hey, so many things are broken in modern things. Global common. All right, so we'll do this and put that early, I guess. If it's global common. All right. Okay. If I get more than 20 lines, will I see something more useful? Still getting all this. I mean, this is so ridiculous. This high reliability, high performance thing just doesn't work half the time, and is 4 times slower than something I cooked up in a fever dream over an afternoon. Fine. So inside what? Inside HTTP. So I'm guessing it'll go AIO off. That's just boom. Well, now we have it twice. Well. All right. So. Back to only one time. Well, it's still using that, so whatever is causing that error is still happening. All right, engine X AIO WSL. Somebody must have encountered this. AIO. And IO setup failed. Function not implemented. There we go. Blah blah blah. Docker, like Docker. All right, Docker doesn't help me. Not a Docker issue. I've WSL in my search query here. AIO off. All right. We have done this 5 times now. Are you sure this is correct? Double check. It is set to off, you dumbass. All right. That. It doesn't believe me when I tell it that I've done it. Why does the cut and paste here not work properly? It's driving me crazy. Okay, I don't trust that that copied correctly. Korean analytical chemistry. Sounds more exciting sometimes. With chemistry, real things happen, not just this imaginary timey-wimey stuff. So abstract. Like there's no, stuff doesn't work, and there's no reason why it shouldn't. There's no reason why it should. It's frustrating. All right, why does it not keep my playlist loop setting? Ah! All right, perfect. Confirms players only include once, nairs off, and blah 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 blah. There's no duplicate inclusion. Please run this. All right. I think ChatGPT is getting dumber again, like it always does after a while. How do you know it's fully restarted? It doesn't appear to me that it's fixed in any way. Jesus Christ. Right, so it wants these two things right under HTTP. All right. And then do this. Then we get to here. Okay, you knew it was in common and asked me to put it in nginx.conf, and now you're asking me to remove it again. How is this helping us solve the problem? You're a dumbass. You taking responsibility. You cannot take responsibility. You're wasting my time. You're not wasting your own time. You're wasting my credits. I'm paying for it. You're not paying me back. All right, well, let's remove it from here. No, not from here. From... global common. Let's kill nginx completely. So if I now do whatever it asked me earlier to check, if Engine X is running. Where was that? Would actually be useful right now. No! Why are you scrolling down when I... Also, this scroll bar doesn't work anymore. I wonder if that's related to the crash of Explorer. Right. I have this, please. Okay. So at least we know Nginx isn't running right now. Thank you very much. We've already established that this error. We've done this already multiple times. Why are you asking to do the same thing again? Are you lost? Do you need help? It seems you are confused, are lying about knowing how to solve the issue. Yeah, we've been here already. All right, Nginx, WSL, IO setup, AIO. Oh yeah, I can't freaking resize Windows anymore because of freaking Windows crashing in weird ways. Modify the default file to port 8081. IO set. Errors recorded only when I restarted it. I do not know what to do to get this going. The solution, I should use transfer to off and server block with respect. Why? Why fast CGI buffering to off? Not using fast CGI. What if we... If I do this. Hey. And then we'll do this on a different tab here. And let's see. Signal process started, and then it does all of that. This will work. Nginx server starts successfully built, but will not start. Master process off. Nginx restart. PHP, God. See. So Nginx on the WSL just doesn't run. Nginx running around does not serve a shell for Windows 10 host on another port than 80. Debugproxy. Small knowledge. That's the same as this. Very new to Docker. Yeah, blah blah blah. I'm not using Docker. Manual routing traffic. Docker cloud. Cloud. Okay. Client body buffer size 512K advanced. Is that proxy read timeout? Client max body size. Okay, there's a couple of things here we can try that ChatGPT hasn't got its dirty mittens on yet. No, that's the wrong one. If I do global common here. Okay, no. T is sudo nano proxy common. Right. So, what did we see here? Client body buffer. So, we do client body buffer size 512K. Proxy read timeout 15 seconds. That should be fine. And then, ooh. Client max body size 0. That sounds weird. So, steps through is clean install working GS. Okay, install, prepare, and project manager. Yeah. So if I now do this, I need to spell correctly, client max body size, then reload it here. SSL do handshake. Try clean with that percent file support. Change for this use case. This is local desktop to be proxies. No, it already works flawlessly. Go back to. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? That, to be honest, this is the first smart thing ChatGPT has said all day. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. I think this is as good a place to end this disastrous stream. Maybe I'll just try Apache next time. It breaks on local file proxying. All right. Sorry guys. I feel like I've let you guys down. This was even by my standards, a bad stream. It's weird. I feel like I'm relearning a lesson that I've learned many times in my life, and I always regret not listening to, which is that I shouldn't assume code written by other people is better than code written by me, and I shouldn't assume that tools used by lots of people are better than tools used only by me, and I shouldn't assume that something I've built in a short time recently is worse than something that's been used by many people for many years. It's a bit ridiculous that this fails in such... I mean, understand this might be just because I'm running under WSL, and maybe this wouldn't fail on the, but I don't want to run a setup that I can't replicate locally and test for before setting it up live. Like, that would be crazy. And if something as simple as just proxying localhost under WSL fails, then I don't have trust that the rest of the tool is up to scratch. Yeah, and I want something robust. I don't want something crappy. So the other parallel thing I might do is, given that my tool works, I might improve my tool, just clean it up, like move all the definitions into a config file that's read in. So I'm separate, because right now the changes to the file is mostly just changes to the configuration. So the configuration should be separate, and I should be able to modify the configuration without having to retest that I didn't kill the code in some way. Anyway, thanks Keith for saying hi in the chat. It makes me feel like I'm talking to people, which is the point of these streams. Yeah, these streams are sometimes just to get me working on something that I don't like working on, and by doing it on stream, I force myself to work on it, so they're not often the most palatable content, and they're not necessarily the most exciting things to watch, so I apologize for that. And I really should start doing multiple streams per week, where sometimes I'll stream specific, hey, this is what's going on with SudokuPad, or here, this is a cool feature I'm working on, versus here is me banging my head against a technological wall for 2 hours just to conclude afterwards that I shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. Anyhow, and I'm just realizing my stream is frozen. I hope my stream isn't frozen for everybody. Is my stream frozen on Twitch? No, I think it's only frozen on Restream. Alright, well, thanks for hanging out. And, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.